Greetings, dear viewer. Perhaps you are familiar with the saying from the master emissary of light, Yeshua, be in the world, but not of it. Now let's slow this down. Let's ponder. Let's reflect. Let's, dare I say, pontificate upon what this actually means, what this phrase, to be in the world, but not of it, what it actually is communicating. I mean, it's a very familiar, somewhat familiar if you're into the basic instructions before leaving Earth, the Bible. It's wildly misunderstood, mostly because it gets moralized instead of interiorized, which tends to be the case for much of what organized religion shares with its slaves. In the world, but not of it. Well, let's talk about what it is not. It is not withdrawal from society. It is not moral superiority. It is not rejection of embodiment, spiritual aloofness. It is certainly not spiritual aloofness. It is not denial of pleasure, work, politics, or a relationship. These are escapist, and they miss the point entirely, what Master Yeshua was wanting to communicate. His intention, the divine intention of Master Yeshua, was that it's not about where you live, what you do, it's rather where your identity is anchored. To be in the world means you participate fully. You work, you love, you build, you fail, you engage, you are embodied, you are located, you are historical. To be not of the world means you do not derive yourself from its narratives. Your worth is not negotiated through status, approval, or fear. Your perception is not owned by collective hypnosis. You are embedded, but not absorbed. Now, this is the core of this saying. This is the psychological meaning. In the world, but not of it, describes a decoupling between you have created through your spiritual praxis a separation between experience and identity, your ego, your worldly ego, your role and your self, sense of self, conditioning and awareness. Most people are fused with their social role, their ideology, their trauma, their tribe, their fear of exclusion. They are of the world because the world defines who they are. The integrated person is different. Now, notice I didn't use the word enlightened. I definitely steered away from the word mystic, but getting away from, I think it's healthy to get away from all these loaded religious terms like soul or mystic, enlightenment, guru, even. They all are loaded, but integrated, integral is really how I have come to understand enlightenment. But your attention, dear viewer, is the real battlefield. The world does not control you through force, it controls you through attention captured. To be of the world is to have your attention constantly pulled outward, fragmented, reactive, monetized, emotionally hijacked, etc. To be not of the world is to reclaim attention. Choose where your awareness rests. Respond instead of react. Are you kind of getting an idea to act without being internally owned by your outcomes? It is what Zen has taught before it became even institutionalized. That is what the master of this world, Hasatan, has been expert at, infiltrating every organization. This is why ultimately Lao Tzu, the father of Taoism, went his separate way. Ultimately, as Sartre has said, hell is other people. Unless you know how to separate, unless you know how to go among them and be separate, to be in the world, but not of it. The integrated persons can be within institutions without overthrowing institutions. I did it my entire 20 years I was in the United States Army. I won by outlasting this institution because institutions change, they fracture, they reform, they collapse. But inner realization, your integral self-sovereignty reproduces itself quietly, one nervous system at a time. And that's what the Umbanda Nu Elohim ashram is all about. Is a place for fellow mystics to come together, dedicated to awakening. You already know what is right, dear viewer. In your heart, you know. The world is sick, and it knows it. The world knows that it is sick. The world is sick, and it knows it. And those who sit upon their throne of ego are part of the grid. They're part of the matrix. They're the disingenuous matrix of Ha-Satan, Satan laughing as he uses the tools of awakening against the very people who are teaching these tools. It is a twisted and Byzantine web that we all share. Yes, it is. But you got this. You've got this, okay? Namaste. Namaskaram.